In the center of Abuja, Nigeria, behind tall fences and manicured trees, stood one of the most luxurious estates in the country, Royal Crest Heights. It was known for housing senators, CEOs, and foreign diplomats. The gates were guarded by trained officers, the roads inside sparkled clean, and the buildings looked like five-star hotels. But there was something that no one in that estate knew. The man who owned all of it, the land, the buildings, even the company that managed the estate, was working at the gate dressed in a security uniform, carrying a walkie-talkie and opening doors for others. His name? Mr. Daniel Akine. 36 years old, Daniel was one of the richest real estate developers in West Africa. His business, Royal Heights Properties Limited, had developed 6 luxury estates across Nigeria. Yet no one outside the boardroom knew his face. He had never done an interview, never posted a photo online, never attended any press event. Because Daniel had learned something painful early in life. Every woman he ever dated loved his money, not his heart. The actresses, influencers, and socialites came to him with fake smiles and sweet voices. They loved his cars, his private trips, his fancy gifts, but they never loved the man behind it. He was betrayed again and again. So one night, while standing on his rooftop, he made a choice. I will become a gatekeeper in my own estate. I will hide my name, my face, and my power. I want to see how people treat me when they think I'm nothing. He called his cousin Joseph, who was also the company's legal director. Bro, I'm done playing this game. Help me go invisible. Joseph thought he was joking. You? Wearing rubber slippers, saluting tenants? Daniel replied, yes. If a woman can love me when I wear dust, she deserves me when I wear diamonds. By the next week, Daniel was unrecognizable. He wore a faded green security uniform, rubber, boots, and an old cap. His skin tone was darkened with natural shea paste and charcoal powder. He even changed his voice, deep and broken, like a tired man from the village. He took on a new name, Musa. No one, not even the junior staff, recognized him. At Gate B of Royal Crest he stood, pretending to be just another regular man working for daily bread. Tenants drove in their Benz and Range Rovers. Some nodded, some ignored him. Some tossed empty water bottles out of their cars like he was invisible. He didn't react. He only watched. 1 week passed, 2, nothing surprising. Until one rainy morning, while standing under his broken umbrella, he saw her. A woman was running in the rain, holding a paper box above her head. Her clothes were soaked, her slippers torn, but her face was calm. She was not panicking. She reached the gate and said gently, "Good morning, sir. Please open the gate." He pressed the buzzer and opened the gate quietly. As she walked past, he noticed the writing on the box in her hand, Lily's Naturals, handmade soaps and oils. That name stuck in his heart. The next day she came again and again, always early, always with a few small boxes in her bag. Sometimes she wore the same brown skirt. Sometimes she walked barefoot through the mud, her slippers in her hand. But every single time she looked at Daniel and said, "Good morning, sir." Not, "Hey you," not, "Gate man," not, "Silence." She greeted him with respect. Daniel began to notice other things. When the small water vendor fell on the estate floor, it was Lily who helped him up. When the delivery boys needed help carrying boxes, Lily offered her hands. She smiled at everyone, even when tired. She shared her water. She shared her food. And she never complained. One evening, Daniel said to Joseph quietly, "I think I found someone. She doesn't know who I am. She just knows how to be kind." Joseph raised an eyebrow. "Are you falling again?" Daniel smiled. "This time I'm falling the right way." Every morning Daniel waited for Lily. Even though he had to salute other tenants, open the gate for rich men who never greeted back, or endure insults. From madams who thought all gatekeepers were illiterate, Lily's presence made it bearable. She was always polite. Her clothes remained simple, her hair was always neatly tied, and her smile, it felt like light on a cloudy day. Daniel began to study her without making it obvious. He noticed she didn't own a car. She walked at least 15 to 20 minutes to reach the estate every day, carrying her soaps in paper boxes. Sometimes she looked tired. but she never looked defeated. One morning he gathered the courage to speak beyond greetings. "Business is not easy in this town," he said casually as she walked in. She paused and looked at him. "No, it's not," she replied, "but I have hope. One day it will get better." Daniel nodded. "God will help." She smiled again. "Amen." That evening Daniel met with Joseph at their usual secret apartment, the one he used to rest while undercover. "I want to help her," Daniel said, "but she must not know it's me." Joseph tilted his head. "You're really in this now?" "I am. She's not like the others." "What do you want to do?" Daniel leaned forward. "First, find out who her landlord is. Pay 6 months of her rent anonymously. I don't want her stressing over bills. Then find out what she studied in school. I want to know why she's not working in a bigger company." Joseph nodded. "You're becoming her guardian angel?" "No," Daniel replied. "I'm just a man who wants to see her rise." 2 days later, Lily returned home from a long, tiring day. As she entered her compound, she noticed her landlord sitting outside, smiling from ear to ear. "Ah, Lily, I was just coming to see you." She frowned slightly. "Is there a problem, sir?" No, there's good news. Someone paid 6 months of your rent this morning. Clean payment. Full." She dropped her bag slowly. "Sorry." "What?" "Anonymous payment. No name. Just said to tell you, your stress is over until next year." Lily stood frozen. Her eyes welled with tears. Her lips trembled. Are you sure?" The landlord grinned. "Count your blessings. My dear, someone out there values you." She nodded slowly and walked to her room. Inside, she sat on the edge of her small bed and began to cry, silently, gratefully. "Whoever you are," she whispered, "thank you." The next day, as she walked into the estate, Daniel was already waiting at the gate. He noticed the lightness in her steps, the way her eyes shone. She looked relieved. "Good morning, madam," he greeted. She stopped, smiled, and said, "You won't believe what happened to me yesterday." "Tell me." "My rent. It was paid. 6 months. No name. No clue who." I was shocked. Daniel pretended to be surprised. "Ah, God is really watching. Over you." She laughed lightly. "I wish I could hug whoever did it." He smiled softly. "Maybe they already feel it." She paused, then looked at him with gentle eyes. "You're different, you know. Most gatekeepers here act like shadows. But you listen. You speak kindly. You make people feel seen." Daniel looked away briefly. "It costs nothing to be kind." She nodded slowly. "True. But very few still choose kindness." As she walked away, Daniel whispered under his breath, "You see me even when I'm hiding." The following week, something unexpected happened. As Daniel stood at the gate during his shift, he saw Lily approach with 2 takeaway packs in her hand. "Good afternoon," she greeted cheerfully. "Afternoon, madam. I brought something for you." He blinked. "For me?" "Yes, jollof rice and fried plantain. I made it this morning for a customer, but I had some left over." Daniel took the warm pack with both hands, surprised and humbled. "You didn't have to." She smiled. "I wanted to." He thanked her and watched her walk away. He didn't eat it right away. He sat on the bench beside the booth and looked at the food for a long time. A woman who gives even when she has little is richer than most. Later that night, Daniel told Joseph, "She's winning my heart faster than I expected." Joseph sipped his drink and said, "Let's just hope she's real all the way." "She is," Daniel said, "and I'm going to test her more before I tell her who I really am." The days that followed were the happiest Daniel had known in years. Not because he was on vacation or because he was closing Billionaire deals, but because he was starting to feel seen, not as a tycoon, but as a man. Every morning he looked forward to Lily's smile. Every "good morning, sir" from her meant more to him than boardroom applause. She didn't know who he really was, yet she gave him her respect, her kindness, and even her food. Daniel was falling in love, slowly, but surely. But he wasn't the only one watching Lily. There was another man in Royal Crest, Mr. Okoye, the estate's operations manager, a flashy man who wore loud cologne, tight suits, and always found a way to mention which politician owed him favors. Okoye had noticed Lily. At first he saw her as just another vendor. Then he noticed her beauty, the natural glow, the gentle way she walked, the confidence in her humility. But most of all, he noticed the quiet attention she was getting from the gatekeeper, and that made him curious. One afternoon, Lily was walking past the management building inside the estate when Okoye called out to her from his air-conditioned office. "Lily, come in a minute." She hesitated but stepped in politely. "Yes, sir?" Okoye smiled. "I've seen your products. You're doing great. I'm impressed." "Thank you, sir. You know," he leaned back in his chair, fingers touching at the tips, "a woman like you doesn't belong in the sun. You need proper space, exposure, maybe a small shop inside the estate or even a stall at the mall. I can help with that." Lily frowned slightly. "I appreciate that, sir." "But of course," he said, lowering his voice. "Nothing is free in this world. I help you, you help me. Simple." Lily understood immediately. Her expression dropped. "I don't mix business with such things, sir," she said firmly. Okoye raised an eyebrow. "Don't be uptight. I'm offering opportunity." "I'm not interested," she replied. She turned and walked out without another word. Okoye watched her go, anger tightening his jaw. "She thinks she's better than everyone," he muttered. "I'll make her beg." That same evening, Lily stopped by the gate on her way out. Daniel noticed her silence. "You okay?" he asked gently. She looked at him, and her calm eyes filled with quiet frustration. "Someone offered me a fake opportunity today," she said. Daniel nodded slowly. "Okoye?" Her eyes widened. "How did you know?" "I see everything, Lily." She shook her head. "It's exhausting. Every time I try to grow, someone tries to own me first." Daniel's heart broke. "You're stronger than all of them. Just keep walking your path." She gave a weak smile. "Sometimes I wish someone else could walk it with me." He looked at her, tempted to say the words sitting in his chest, but he held back. Not yet. A week passed, then another. And Daniel knew what he had to do next. He needed to test her heart one last time. He told Joseph, "It's time we gave her a proper opportunity, but without my name attached." Joseph raised a brow. "What's your plan?" "Open a position in one of our offices for an assistant brand executive. I want her to apply for it. If she qualifies, give her the job. Make sure the letter comes from HR, not from me." "You're really trusting her." "I'm giving her space to show who she really is." The job offer came a few days later. An email, a call, an invitation to attend an interview at Royal Heights HQ, the very building she had once walked past, thinking she didn't belong. She was shocked. "I didn't apply," she told the receptionist. "The board requested your profile. Apparently someone noticed your product at a recent exhibition." The lady smiled. Lily's hands trembled as she sat for the interview. She spoke honestly, confidently. She didn't exaggerate her achievements. She didn't beg. She didn't try to impress with charm. She just showed her passion for natural skincare and her experience running her own small business. The next morning an email came. "Congratulations, you've been selected as the new junior brand assistant. Reporting starts next Monday." Lily broke down in her room, crying on her small mattress. After all the struggles, she was finally being seen. Little did she know, the man she always greeted at the gate was the one clearing her path behind the curtain. Monday morning came, and for the first time in years, Lily didn't have to carry boxes through muddy paths or beg tenants to try her soap. She walked into Royal Heights HQ dressed in a clean blouse and long skirt, holding only a simple handbag. Her heart raced with excitement and nerves. The receptionist welcomed her with a smile. "You're starting today, right?" "Yes," Lily replied, trying to hide how overwhelmed she felt. "Please go to the 5th floor marketing and branding department. Miss Ada will walk you through orientation." Lily stepped into the elevator. As the doors closed, her mind raced. God, what is this life? Just last month I was sharing food with Okada riders. Now I'm wearing ID badges and entering corporate buildings. What she didn't know was that just outside the building, watching her from a discreet distance, stood Daniel, still in disguise. He wasn't ready to reveal the truth. Not yet. He had seen people change the moment they tasted comfort. He wanted to see if Lily would remain who she was. Days turned into weeks. Lily adapted quickly. She showed up early, took notes, volunteered to help others. Everyone in the branding team loved her, except for one person, Sheila. Sheila was senior staff in HR, known for her sharp tongue, designer heels, and two-faced compliments. From the day Lily arrived, Sheila had been suspicious. "How does a soap hawker just walk into this building and get a job?" she whispered to another colleague. "She's probably sleeping with someone on the board." Lily ignored the whispers. She focused on her tasks and continued being herself, kind, polite, humble. Every day she still greeted Daniel at the estate gate like before. Even in her new office clothes, she never changed how she looked at him. "Good evening, sir," she'd say, smiling after work. And every time Daniel's heart grew more certain. One Thursday afternoon during break, Sheila approached Lily in the staff cafeteria. She sat across from her, placing her glittery iPhone on the table with a click. "So," she began, "how's the new office life treating you?" Lily smiled politely. "It's been a blessing. I'm learning a lot." Sheila leaned forward. "You know, I've been in this company for years. Promotions take time, and unless you know the right people." Lily remained silent. "I mean, I'm not judging, but let's be real. That security man at your estate, Musa, right? I've seen you talking to him a lot. You even gave him food one day." Lily blinked, caught off guard. Sheila smirked. "Just be careful. People are watching. Don't get distracted by men who look for rising women to ride." Lily's voice was calm. "Musa is my friend. He's always been kind, and he's never asked me for anything." Sheila chuckled. "Sweetheart, that's exactly how they work. First kindness, then tears, then they ask for rent. Next thing you know, you're feeding him and his entire family." Lily stood up slowly. "With all due respect, Ma, I choose my friends. Based on character, not clothes or bank accounts." And she walked away. That evening, Daniel was at his usual spot when Lily returned from work. She looked tired but still offered him a smile. "Long day?" he asked. "The longest," she sighed. "But I survived." He hesitated for a moment, then asked, "Can I walk with you just down the road?" She looked surprised. "Sure." They walked slowly past the estate gate side by side. Lily spoke first. "You know, people at work don't understand. They think I'm weird for being friends with you." Daniel glanced at her. "Do you care what they think?" She smiled faintly. "Not really. You were kind to me when I had nothing. You listened. You shared your time. That means more than fake respect from rich people." Daniel paused, heart pounding. The urge to tell her the truth grew stronger. He turned to her. "Lily, if I told you I wasn't who you think I am, would you be angry?" She looked at him curiously. "Are you hiding something? I've just not told you everything. Yet," she smiled. "Everyone has a story. When you're ready, I'll..." "Listen." He looked at her, speechless. This woman, he thought, she's not only kind, she's patient. That night, Daniel called Joseph. "I'm ready," Joseph asked. "Ready for what?" "To tell her who I am, but first I want to do it right. No crowds, no drama, just her and me." Joseph smiled on the other side of the call. "Then tell her, before someone else ruins it." Saturday morning came with a calm sky and cool breeze over Abuja. It was the perfect day for a quiet conversation, the kind that could change everything. Daniel had barely slept the night before. His heart was restless. This wasn't a business meeting or a board decision. This was about his truth and her. He had called Lily the day before and said, "Can I take you somewhere peaceful tomorrow, just to talk?" She agreed, thinking nothing serious. After all, Musa, her friend, had always been gentle and respectful. So that morning, Daniel picked her up in a borrowed car, still dressed in simple clothes but clean and neat. No security, no show, just him. They drove out of town to a quiet garden cafe, hidden behind tall trees and filled with birdsong. Lily smiled as she looked around. "This place is beautiful," she said. "I come here when I need to think," Daniel replied. They sat beneath a tree. The waiter brought fruit drinks and left quietly. There was a pause. Daniel took a deep breath. Lily, I haven't been honest with you. She turned toward him, surprised. About what? My name isn't Musa. She blinked. My name is Daniel Ikine. Her eyebrows furrowed slightly. The name sounded familiar. I'm the CEO of Royal Heights Properties, the company that owns the estate you live in, the estate you work in, the company that gave you that job, the one that paid your rent. Lily stared at him, frozen. He continued, his voice steady. I was tired of fake love, of women who only loved what I had, not who I was. So I disguised myself. I dressed like a gatekeeper, stood at the entrance of my own estate, and waited. Waited for what? She whispered. For someone like you, he said softly. Someone who would smile at me without knowing my title. Someone who would offer me food, not because I was rich, but because I looked hungry. Someone who saw my soul before my suit. Tears gathered in Lily's eyes. She wasn't angry, she was just overwhelmed. You mean all this time? Yes, he nodded. The day you helped the water boy, I knew you were different. When you defended your dignity against Okoye, I saw your strength. When you gave me your rice, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, sincerity. She sat in silence. The wind blew softly around them. Why didn't you tell me before? She asked. Because I needed to be sure that your heart was pure. And you passed every test. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box, but didn't open it yet. I'm not asking you to say yes now. I just needed you to know the truth, no more hiding. She looked at him for a long time, her heart pounding. You thought I wouldn't love you if you were rich. I thought you would love me, because I was rich. She shook her head, a tear rolling down her cheek. I loved you when you were a gatekeeper, Daniel, when you had calluses on your hands, when you stood under the rain and still smiled. That's the man I love. He slowly opened the box. Inside was a simple, elegant gold ring. No cameras, no press, just me and you. Will you let me walk this life with you, as your partner, not your master? She nodded slowly, wiping her tears. Yes, she whispered. His hands trembled slightly as he placed the ring on her finger. They didn't kiss. They didn't hug. They just sat there, silent, peaceful and honest. For the first time in his life, Daniel felt free. But peace doesn't last forever. By Monday, whispers had begun in the company. Someone had seen Daniel and Lily leave the cafe. Someone had taken a photo. Someone had sent it to Sheila. That night, Sheila stormed into Okoye's old office, which she had quietly begun to occupy since his dismissal. So it's true, she hissed. That girl trapped the boss. She dialed a number. Get me the board's assistant. I want to file a formal complaint. That girl is mixing romance and office power. What she didn't know was that Daniel had prepared for this too. By the next morning, Royal Heights HQ was buzzing with whispers. Phones pinged. Chat groups lit up. Screenshots were shared. The photo of Daniel and Lily at the Garden Cafe had made its way around the building. In the image, Daniel looked relaxed, out of uniform, in a clean shirt, laughing beside Lily, who was smiling warmly. It was innocent, but to those who didn't know the truth, it was scandalous. Wait, that's the gatekeeper, right? No, that's the boss. Eh? He's the real CEO? Is that why she got promoted? She was smarter than she looked. Speculation turned into gossip, gossip into hate. And at the center of it all was Sheila, furious and hungry for revenge. She walked into the HR director's office like she owned the place. Sir, we have a problem, she said coldly. The director, a calm old man named Mr. Ume, looked up from his files. What is it, Sheila? Lily, she's having a romantic affair with the company's owner. That's conflict of interest. She was promoted during the period they were seeing each other. It's unethical. Mr. Ume stared at her for a moment. Sheila, he said slowly, do you know how I got my job? She blinked. Sir, because I stay in my lane, you should try it. She opened her mouth to speak again, but he waved her off. I've known Mr. Ikine since before you had your first wig. If he's doing something wrong, I'll talk to him myself. But I won't let bitterness become a policy. Sheila stormed out, furious. Meanwhile, Daniel had already anticipated the backlash. He invited Lily to his office, this time, as herself and him, fully revealed. His private office was vast and modern, with glass walls, elegant furniture, and walls filled with award plaques. Lily stepped in nervously. She had never seen him like this, polished, powerful, yet still carrying that same softness in his eyes. "You okay?" he asked. "I don't know," she replied. "Everyone's talking." "I know," he said gently. "And that's why we need to face it." He picked up the landline and pressed a number. "Please send a company-wide memo. I'll be addressing all staff at 3 p.m. in the main hall." Lily's eyes widened. "Daniel?" "I'm not hiding anymore," he said. "And I won't. Let them tear you down." By 3 p.m. the main hall was packed. Staff filled every row. Phones were in silent mode, but cameras were ready. Everyone expected drama. Daniel walked in wearing a fitted black suit. Confident, calm, and powerful, he stepped up to the podium. "Good afternoon," he began. "Most of you know me as Musa, the gatekeeper, but my name is Daniel Ekin, and I am the CEO and founder of Royal Heights." Gasps. Hands over. Mouths. Some people stood in shock. "I went undercover for a reason. I wanted to see how people behave when they think you are nothing. I wanted to find a woman who would treat me like a human being before knowing my title." He paused. His eyes scanned the crowd. "And I found her." He turned slightly and gestured. Lily stood at the back, trembling. Daniel nodded and she walked forward slowly, every step echoing like a heartbeat. "This woman gave me food when she thought I was hungry. She respected me when she thought I was a nobody. She smiled at me every day when others ignored me. She passed the test of heart, not fame." There was silence. "I didn't promote her out of romance. She earned her place. I didn't give her charity. She gave me dignity." Then he looked toward Sheila, who sat in the second row. "And to those spreading poison in whispers, I see you too." Sheila's face turned pale. "This company is not built on gossip. It's built on values. Anyone who cannot work without dragging others down is free to resign. Today." A wave of murmurs rolled through the hall. Daniel turned back to the staff. "Now, let's return to building something real, because I'm done hiding, and I'm proud of the woman beside me." A round of applause broke out, slowly, then louder. Some stood. Some clapped with tears in their eyes. Lily stood quietly beside him, eyes filled with gratitude, love, and quiet power. Later that evening, they sat on the rooftop of the building, watching the city lights. "You didn't have to do that," she whispered. "I did," Daniel replied, "because I'm not ashamed of you." She smiled, leaning her head on his shoulder. "I still can't believe this life." "Believe it," he whispered, "because it's only just beginning.